So welcome. Come on in. Welcome to Oliver's World of Biology. I'm going to show you a little bit around my room. My room does change all the time, but I'll show you what we have right now. Welcome. This is our introduction. You'll notice that I do have a marine biology theme around my room at the moment. You've got our jellyfish hanging and our marine biology wall with our shark. So come on in, I'll show you around. This corner is the teacher corner, but I'd love to show you starting over here. This is just a sample of some of the marine biology. I have a master's degree in marine biology. I'm a marine scientist, so I bring my passion for biology and especially marine life to the classroom. So you're guaranteed if you come in my world that you're going to learn some marine biology. These are my favorites. My specialty are starfish and brittle stars. This is what I love. I've always loved and I know a lot about, so I try to incorporate a lot of them into what we're doing. And if you'll come around, you'll see that what we do in biology is very hands-on, a lot of hands-on things. If you look up and down everywhere, you'll see things that students have put together. This is lots of Play-Doh, just as an example that we're always building models and we're working on trying to understand difficult biological concepts by using a hands-on approach. And if you want to keep coming around, and I just want to show some of the things that are, I think, that unique to biology. I sometimes notice that students get nervous when they're about to take a test, and I don't want you to feel nervous. I want you to feel supported. So this is these are called my test buddies. Everyone knows that when they come on test day or quiz day, you're welcome to come and get a buddy that you can hug, that can hold during the test, that maybe take some of that anxiety away. They all have names. This is Shirley. This is Santiago, and we have lots of, you'll see a theme, lots of marine animals here, but they're all animals. Marine science, so you can see that I really do work in starfish and brittle stars. I work also at FWC and a little bit and work with their sea mapping program, so I get to label and identify some of their organisms. I've also worked with a deep sea submersible pilot, Erica Bergman, and we build ROVs together, which I'll show you in a minute. This is 3 of the 8 scientific publications that I've written. My maiden name is Talbot, which is why you'll see Talbot in some of these titles. This is a sample of some of the organisms that we will look at in my biology world. This is just a little bit of some of the animals, and I really feel like you better understand things when you have the ability not just to look in books and pictures, but actually see them and touch them and understand them better. So we have different types of shells, for example, and we ask questions like why are things shaped the way they are? What adaptations do they have and why? We've got all these sea urchins and starfish. We have different kinds of coral. Sea to have corals. This is a real coral that was given to us that we keep here. We have just samples of mammal skulls and shark's teeth and different organisms. Here's one of my favorites, of course, brittle stars, different kinds of brittle stars in here, different shapes and sizes. We do dissections, and so this is just an example of these squid aren't looking too nice right now, but we do squid dissections, and this is helpful to learning that. And if you just want to look as another example, we have when we look at sea urchins, because of my experience as a marine scientist, I can actually get hold of real organisms. So these are sitting in alcohol. They are dead, but it's really neat to be able to look at them up close and to see more about how they are part of the ecological system. And if you'll just keep coming around in Oliver's world, this is an example of, this is just a little bit about a program that I developed here called Oliver Medical School. And senior students are going to be soon starting a program where they're going to learn about the human body and the health and physiology, and relevant, of course, to everyone. We're going to learn about the different systems from a medical point of view. This is Frank. Frank, of course, so we can take all his things out and we can look at them and study them and understand more about them. Frank does have a head, but his head is partly off right now, but you can see that we can look also inside his brain and all of the organs. I have skulls and different models here. Part of that program is that we do get lab coats for everyone with Oliver Medical School. So when we're doing the hands-on labs and some of the work that we do to understand the human body better, some of the labs, everyone wears their lab coat. I have several 3D printers. Here's one of them. Unfortunately, it's clogged right now, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm sure I'll get it back working again. But these are just a couple of the things that we've recently printed. Choose what color of PLA thread that they maybe would like to use. But we've really done a good job, I think, with actually making different organisms that can actually move and flex and have wiggly tails and stuff like that. So that's all part of the program. Here's some of the scientific equipment that's also here for use. And we have a lot in the back as well. Coming around, this is just an example of one of the remotely operated vehicles that I've made in the past with students. This particular one is in pieces, but it is got a really amazing motherboard to it that we've put in, and what this does and what the class of these instruments are remotely operated vehicles. When we go out on the boat, which we go onto a boat once a year, I go to the Florida Aquarium and take a boat into Tampa Bay. We take these ROVs, and actually more updated ones, not this one but other ones, and they're able to use a phone to put the ROV, the remotely operated vehicle, into the water, and using the camera and the lights and the motors on this robot, the underwater robot, they're able to see the benthic view. So they can see the bottom, they can see the fish, they can see the organisms, they can see the algae and everything from just using the app on their phone. This is an example of some of the sampling equipment we use when we're doing our field research. Here's another guy that's over here that's going to welcome us to Oliver Medical School. He's been in hiding, but one thing that he needs is a name. So if anyone wants to volunteer a name, come share what you think his name should be. And then last but not least, I have a couple things here. One is I always like to have pictures of women in STEM, historical pictures. But these are just 3, but I've got some women who have had a really neat impact. It doesn't have to be, for me, it doesn't have to be any marine science necessarily, or even biology, but we've got someone who, Gladys West, who was instrumental in developing the GPS system that we have in the world today. And last but not least, I have always my table for students. This is my fidget table when students sometimes come in and they're fidgety, and I have a table here where you're always welcome. As long as you're paying attention, you're always welcome to come back to the table and grab something to play with. So I've got I have stretchy material and stretchy things. I've got kinetic sand that they can take to play with, and kinetic sand and stretchy sand. And it's just something to kind of keep your hands busy while you're working with something else. And a lot more fun here, and thank you for joining us in Oliver Biology World.